They are only focused upon the basic standards of the content or the subject. Most probably out of 100 questions which you get in prelims, if you want to clear prelims, do you really think that you can solve 100 out of 100? The entire 100 question? It is absolutely impossible. You can solve at the best rate of 40 to 50 questions at very highest rate which are 100% correct. And those 40 to 50 questions which you are going to solve at 100% correct, they are from the basic standards of the 4 pillars, that is history, geography, polity and economics. If you are missing these basic questions, then you can't attempt the rest of the questions where you would be manipulated with the options, where you can't choose between 2 options. There should be some questions, right? 50 questions are from basics, 30 questions would be in that stance where you would be in a confused state on which option to be chosen, A or D, B or C, A or C. And 20 questions are alien questions that you don't know even what option to choose and you have never read about it. Are you going to really think that you are going to solve 20 questions which are alien questions to you? What questions you are going to face upon? It is the 30 question part where you have confusion between A and C, B and D, and the rest 50 questions which are associated with the basics. So people who stick to the basics very effectively, for them prelims is very easy. That's the reason why if you have seen the cutoffs, it is less than 100. Less than 100 ka matlab 50 questions if you are doing it right, then 100% chances are there that you are going to qualify for mains. So those 50 questions, if you are going to do it right, then it is the basic things which have to be very stronger. And it is not also true that every question which you attempt that would be right. So that's the reason why your range of question answering in the paper should be between 75 to 85. So when you attempt 75 to 85 out of 100, then only you are in the race. Some people just do 55 to 60 questions, they attempt 55 to 60 and come back and say that I will qualify this exam. That is literally blunder which aspirants would be doing. No one has 100 percentile of probability. Let's say if you have attempted 60 questions, what is the highest rate of probability of an intelligent and intellectual? 40 questions or 50 questions would be right. Let's say in between 40 to 50, 45. 45 into 2, 15 into 2 by 3, 10. 95 marks you have got, 90 marks you have got for the 45 questions which were right. 15 questions were wrong. For that you have to subtract 10 marks. 90 minus 10, 80. Are you going to qualify? The highest rate of questions where you have solved, then also you are going to lose the game. So make sure that you try to solve 75 to 85% of the questions of the paper. And sitting here in this particular program, whenever you get this particular paper of 10 questions, or in the grand test when you are going to get some X number of questions, try to solve out of out, 10 by 10, which will give you a practice of taking risk. If you are not going to take risk, you are already in the risk zone. So you are not going to qualify the exam. Then however you are not going to qualify the exam, take risk. So risk factor has to be calculated, and that risk practice has to come from these mock tests where you are sitting at. Is this clear for everyone? People who are sitting live, is this clear? And hope everyone has their question paper in front of them. I'll just reveal the answer key and I'll try to explain if there is a difficulty here. If you have any doubt in between them, you can just raise your hand and you can ask. People who are sitting online, they can also ask the doubts through texting. Okay. Question number 1. Which of the following correctly matches a theory of Earth's origin with its description? In general, if you go through the 6th NCERT, the first chapter would be dealing with this particular solar system, latitude and longitude wala aspect, very basic fundamental things, which people from CBSE might have learned in their school standard itself. How many of you are from CBSE? Only one. So if you see in CBSE syllabus, because I never studied CBSE, I also studied state syllabus. In state syllabus, we never studied these things in 6th. ये solar system पढ़ने के लिए 8th class या 9th class तक wait करते थे state books में. But people who came from CBSE, it is very easy for them because they read it in 6th standard itself. The first chapter makes you understand about the Earth's explanation, how the planets are formed, what is nebula. You know about these keywords, right? Nebula, constellations, galaxy. What is galaxy? Combination of stars. What is constellation? Group of stars. What is galaxy? दोनों एक ही आंसर. LHS is equals to RHS. Galaxy is combination of constellations. constellation is an irregular or regular shape, which group of stars would be creating? Are you getting this point? What is a star? Which come on our shoulder once we become IAS or IPS. IAS को तो वैसे star नहीं मिलेगा. What is a star? Star is a self-luminous body. Under the fission and fusion process of hydrogen and helium, it emits heat and light. Sun is one star which we have. And surrounding it, we have solar system. Through this particular solar system explanation, we have two theories. Nebular hypothesis, Laplace hypothesis. Have you gone through this nebular hypothesis and Laplace hypothesis? Have you gone through hypothesis which is most acceptable one? Is the nebular one the most acceptable one? Or gaseous hypothesis? Or Big Bang theory? Which is the most acceptable one? So chances are there questions would be coming from Big Bang theory. But in the mock test they have given regarding with the nebular hypothesis. Out of all these three, if nebular hypothesis, Laplace hypothesis and Big Bang theory comes in the option, which option you are going to mark? Big Bang theory. If there is no option, if there is any one of the options out of these three, nebular, Big Bang, gaseous, which one you are going to mark? Any of these particular three. So nebular hypothesis explains that from the star called as nebula, we shall be having solid objects which has dispatched out from the nebula, and those solid objects got dispatched, and under the rotationary force the planets have been developed. But rather than this, the gaseous hypothesis is more acceptable one, because the outer four planets which are there, they are still in gaseous state. Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, all these particular planets, they still exist in the gaseous state. So for the question number 1, option 2 is the right answer. How many marked 2? 2 as the right option. Very good. How many marked 1? 3. C as option. D as option? No one. Okay. Next, question number 2. Arrange the following stages of star formation in correct sequence. Generally, stars together, they shall be forming different aspects. So in the star formation, the initial formation is nebula, and these nebulas combined together will form protostar, and that protostar will form main sequence star, and main sequence star will form huge red giant. So the sun right now is a huge red giant. So nebula is the basic one, red giant is the last one. So what would be the option? B, A, C, D is the right option which you have. How many marked option number 1? 1. Great. Coming to question number 3. Which statement is true regarding the formation of planets in our solar system? Terrestrial planets formed closer to the sun primarily from metallic and rocky substances. Gaseous giant formed closer to the sun due to the high temperature. Planets formed simultaneously after the creation of sun. All planets in our solar system have approximately the same composition. See, one more task which I want to say you regarding with the questions which appear in UPSC. Already few people who sit in the general course lectures, they already know it, but people who are sitting out of that course lecture, I'll be explaining to them. In UPSC, whenever you read options, you have to read those options with very cool mind and mentality and intellectuality. There, by reading the options, your inner sense will say that this option is not going to be correct or this option is going to be correct. In UPSC, the opposite thing happens. Whichever you think right, that will become wrong. Whichever you think wrong, that becomes right. That is because of the educating of the English composition which they do, or the nature of the line or nature of the composition of the English which they follow. That's why you think in opposite way. If you are having confusion, start reading the option in a reverse way. Generally people read statements like this, right? But try to read it in a opposite way, like how you read Quran. Hai na? Start reading the option number 1. Rocky substances from metallic primarily to the sun closer formed terrestrial planets. You start reading in a reverse way, you will find the right answer. This is the magic of options which they give. But in this, however, our subordinates have made these questions. So subordinates might be having lesser English compared to UPSC. but if you go cross check the previous year questions of UPSC, you can very easily read the options in a reverse way. That will sometimes give you an answer. Try to do it today by checking previous year questions. You will understand the beauty of reading the statements written. Okay, this is one point which you have to focus. Second point is, in UPSC there shall be some options which shall be appearing like, हाँ ये तो true है, this is 100% true. Like India's agriculture contribution to the GDP according to the 2022 and 2023 economic survey is 38.6873 only. If you see only, right, that option is 100% wrong. If any statement is pressurizing you to accept the fact, that is wrong. If any statement is saying a compulsion that no, this is true, Sachin Tendulkar along with C.R. Rao has won the Bharat Ratna due to this reason only, wrong. Make sure that you make a practice of these particular tactics by solving previous year questions of UPSC or any UPSC examination. Let it be Combined Defence Services, let it be Central Armed Police Forces Assistant Commandant Services, let it be Civil Services. Okay. So for this particular option, if you see the rest of the options, if you see option number D, all planets in our solar system have approximately same composition. Is this option pressurizing us to accept the fact? All kate, would this happen anytime? No, option D is wrong. Planets formed simultaneously after the creation of sun. ये तो ऐसा ही हो गया ना, like this statement is appearing like a generalized statement. हाँ ठीक है, हो गया तो हो गया, planet तो हो ही गया, है ना? तो C भी wrong. Gas giants formed closer to the sun due to high temperature. We know the planets which are closer to the sun, they are not in gaseous state. So option B becomes wrong. Finally, option A becomes the right answer. How many marked? A. Very good, very good. Question number 4. Identify the false statement about our solar system. One more key point is, people in, मतलब मैं जैसे जल्दबाज में हूँ कि like आधा घंटे में खत्म करना है 10 क्वेश्चन, वैसे एस्पिरेंट्स भी रहेंगे, है ना? In UPSC examination, aspirants have 100 minutes of time to solve 100 question. Sir, it is 120 minutes, but 120 minutes में 10 minutes would be taken when you start bubbling. जो बबल करेंगे उसका टाइम होगा 10 मिनट. टू सॉल्व 100 और टू ड्रॉप 100 बबल्स, द टाइम टेकन इज 10 मिनट, समवेयर नियर क्लोजर टू 10 मिनट. 5 मिनट तो उधर इधर देखना, पानी पीना, वॉशरूम जाना में खत्म. 5 minutes when the lady invigilator or anyone comes, सिग्नेचर, उसके नाम लिखना, एंड थोड़ा कंफ्यूजन, पेपर को पूरा पढ़ना, उधर इधर पेन अच्छे कर लेना, मतलब एंटायर 10 minutes would be in that way. So 20 minutes तो आपका है ही नहीं. For every question you have only 1 minute of time. For that 1 minute, whenever aspirants tend to read the question, they do mistake. What UPSC would be doing is, in a sequence of questions, when they drop in the pattern, for some 5 to 6 questions, they will be asking which of the following is correct, which of the following is correct, which of the following is correct. But coming to the 7th question, they would be asking which of the following is not correct. मतलब वो slow poison जैसा, which of the following is not correct. वो not भी अच्छा दिखेगा नहीं. What we would be doing? From the 7th question, to manage the time, we are not going to read the option which of the following are correct or not correct. Directly we will read that options and we will read the coding. And that question would be gone. I have committed many mistakes as such. So you guys, let you solve 70 question. That is also fine. But solve it accordingly with patience. Okay. So in the 4th question they have asked, identify the false statement about our solar system. The asteroid belt lies between the orbits of Mars and Jupiter. Is it true? Yes, even a kid from 5th standard knows it. अगर हमें पता नहीं है, we have to jump from Burj Khalifa directly. Option B, Neptune is known as windiest planet in our solar system. In general sense, I also don't know this option. है ना? ऐसा नहीं कि मैं रोबोट हूँ या विकीपीडिया हूँ और चैट जीपीटी हूँ, कुछ भी टाइप कर लो आ जाएगा. So this option, these kind of options we have to make a hold. We have to check for next options. Pluto is classified as a gas giant. Hold on. Let's read the next option. Saturn has the most extensive ring system. ये तो even. So option A and D में clarity है that they are right. So B and C में Pluto is classified as a gas giant. Pluto is not classified as a gas giant. As I've already said, Jupiter also falls under the outer planet zone. Jupiter is also in the gaseous structure. So Jupiter is a gas giant. Pluto का planet का status ही नहीं है, gas giant छोड़ो, है ना? International Astronomical Union has removed Pluto. Clear? Again, they are going to merge it in 2024 and 2025. Then the question whichever would be coming, if that would be in news, it shall not be on Pluto, it shall be on International Astronomical Union. So once go cross check what is International Astronomical Union, because it was in news primarily for 3 to 4 times since the last 6 months. Once cross check that particular aspect. So option C is the right one. Question number 5. Choose the correct pair of features related to moon. Highlands, dark flat areas formed by ancient volcanic eruptions. Dark flat areas. Maria, lighter areas represent higher terrain. Regolith, the thin rocky layer covering the solid bedrock of the moon. Release, deep canyons formed by tectonic activity. Answer for this is, generally, whenever we read these statements, how many know option 1? Option 1, have you ever read about option B, Maria? Option D, release. So these kind of questions generally are those questions which we have to skip. Okay. Even if I am in your position, then also I'll skip. But using some common sense, if you want to answer it, you know about batholith, regolith, phacolith. These keywords you might have read, right? On that basis, if you see, regolith, the thin rocky layer, lith itself is rock. Rocky layer covering the solid bedrock of the moon, that becomes the right answer. If you want to guess, use your intelligence, not content. By using content, you can't answer this question. Even me, I'm accepting the fact. Even me, I can't answer this question. But using some common sense, we can answer. Question number 6. Match the following geological periods with respective characteristics. Acha. Mesozoic era, pre-Cambrian. Have you gone through the geological time scale, which you have in NCERT, or just go through the Google? Have you ever gone through geological time scale? I think so. You might have not gone through, right? Maybe chances are there that question would be coming. Today you learn geological time scale, okay? But however, you just type geological time scale space UPSC in Google, you'll find an image. Just try to by heart and see it. How our life cycle is? Our life cycle is prenatal phase, birth, then primary school, pre-primary, play school, then primary, then secondary, higher secondary, graduation, post-graduation, civil services, death. है ना? खत्म होते ही हार्ट अटैक आ जाएगा सिविल सर्विसेज अटेम्प्ट होते ही. This is our life cycle. Earth also has life cycle. Different stages में different things have happened. At one junction, fish got evolved. At one junction, coal got formed. At one junction, Indian plate started moving northernward. At one junction, plate tectonics theory said by Alfred Wegener. According to Alfred Wegener, मैं तो कुछ नहीं बोल रहा हूँ. Pangaea was there, Panthalassa was there. So entirely, Earth has some geological time scale. You once refer that geological time scale, least chances are there question would be coming, but chances are there that question will come. Okay. So in that pre-Cambrian phase have formation of the first supercontinent called as Pangaea, which Alfred Wegener could not explain this, but later on plate tectonics theory have explained it. Option number 2 ko Paleozoic era has emergence of complex life forms. So for 2 it is D, and for Mesozoic era it is the age of reptiles. And during this mid-Mesozoic era itself, we had that mid-oceanic ridge formations also. And option number 4, Cenozoic era, it is age of mammals. So B, D, A, C. Option A is the right one. How many marked it? How many marked it? Good. So once you read this geological times table wala chart, you can also attempt this question right. Once go through it, okay? It doesn't take not more than 15 or 20 minutes to learn the entire time scale. Which statement is true about the RNA world hypothesis? It suggests that life began with the formation of DNA molecules. See, first, you know about some biological sense, right? However, I am weak at biology, but I know what is RNA and DNA. In RNA and DNA genetics, it is the RNA which has formed first, followed by DNA. So, first option itself is wrong because it suggests that life began with the formation of DNA molecules. It is completely blunder. It is RNA first which has been formed. It proposes that RNA was the first genetic material. Yes, this is true, but not being overconfident, we have to check other options also. Sometimes the last pushed option would be at D. So option C, it indicates that protein were the first molecules to support life. No. It is based on the fossil evidence of early life forms. No. RNA was the first genetic material. This is the most suitable option for this question. How many have marked B as option? B. Great. Eighth question, which of the following best describes earth mantle? You know core mantle, crust mantle, core. Mantle mein upper mantle, lower mantle, outer core, inner core. Upper mantle has magma. We call it as asthenosphere. Lower mantle is solid, crust is solid, outer core is liquid, inner core is solid. You know this medium? Okay. Earth's mantle के बारे में पूछे थे. It is entirely liquid as it is responsible for Earth's magnetic field. Biggest blunder of the life. है ना? Wrong. It consists mostly of solid rocks and behaves plastically over geological time scale. Hold on. It might be true. It is the outermost layer of the earth composed of oxygen and silicon. Crust is the outermost layer. Even बच्चे को पता है. अभी जो बच्चे सेरिलैक खा रहे वो भी बोलेगा ये. C option is wrong. It is composed mainly of iron and nickel and is extremely dense. As you know, core is extremely dense. Moving into the interior of the earth, the density increases. The inner core, the central portion of the core, has the highest density. Somewhere around 13.3 grams per centimeter cube is the density of the outer core and inner core compositively. It changes a bit, but maximum is in the core region. So option D is false. Option B is true. This is elimination method which got already eliminated. You can't expect these kind of questions. 1 or 2 questions might be in this particular regard. Okay. 9th question, students. The circle of illumination divides the earth into sections experiencing summer and winter. Illumination, sir, the circle which would be appeared. So that portion which is of that particular zone, which is on the illuminate circle, that would be the darkness where we would be experiencing day and night. Summer and winter, wet and dry seasons, high tide, low tide is biggest blunder. అసలు ఈ ఆప్షన్లు ఉండొద్దు అసలు ఫస్ట్ ఇవన్నీ తీసుకెళ్ళి దీన్ని చెంచల్ కూడా జైలు వేయాలి. హై టైడ్, లో టైడ్, వెట్ అండ్ డ్రై సీజన్, డే అండ్ నైట్. సింపుల్ క్వశ్చన్ సార్ ఇది. సో నాట్ మచ్ టు వరీ. 10th question, sir. International dateline largely following the 180-degree longitude is significant because it marks the boundary between heat zones of the earth. It is used for navigation in southern hemisphere అంట. ఏం చదవనోడు ఉంటాడుగా 100 రూపీస్ అని అప్లై చేసినోడు వాడిది వావ్ దిస్ మైట్ బి ద ఆప్షన్, కాకపోతే మిగతా ఆప్షన్ చదివి ఇది పెడదాం అనుకుంటాడు. సి క్రాసింగ్ ఇట్ రిజల్ట్స్ ఇన్ చేంజ్ ఆఫ్ 1 calendar day. గుర్తుందా మీకు 31st న్యూ ఇయర్ 2 సార్లు సెలబ్రేట్ చేసుకోవాలంటే ఏం చేయాలో చెప్పిన. It signifies the division between Earth's eastern and western hemisphere. Actually, eastern and western hemisphere ni divide చేసేది 0 degree. మీరు మీ ఎక్స్ట్రాడినరీ తెలివితేటలు వాడి 180 degrees an extension of 0 degree కదా. 0 degree ప్రొట్రాక్టర్ మీద ఇటు 0 అంటే ఇటు 180 ఉంటుంది కదా. 0 180 ఒకటే లైన్ కదా సార్ అని మీరు ఆ ఇంటెలెక్చువాలిటీ వాడరు అనుకోండి, ఈ క్వశ్చన్లు సాల్వ్ కావు. మీరు తూర్పు తిరిగి పొద్దున సూర్య నమస్కారం చేసి ఆ యూపీఎస్సీ పేపర్ ఎవరికన్నా ఇచ్చి వెళ్ళిపోండి అటు నుంచి అటు. High intellectuality is also highly dangerous for your preparation. So option C is the right one. మీకు తెలుసు కదా 30th December ఉంటే 31st December, 31st December ఉంటే 1st January ఉంటుంది. ఇది ఓకే కదా. 10. How many crossed 8 questions out of this 10? 8 కరెక్ట్ అయిన వాళ్ళు ఎంతమంది? 9, 8 above, 8 and above. 8 and above is good score. I'm not asking about 10 by 10. 8 and above is good score. 6, 7 can improve better. You can reach that 8 margin. Less than 5, work it out. Stick to the basics. Don't neglect any point. జనరల్లీ మనం ఏం చేస్తామంటే యూపీఎస్సీలో ఒకటి ఉంటుంది సార్, అది ఎప్పటికైనా నిజమే అయింది. ఏదైతే మనం వదులుతామో అదే క్వశ్చన్ వస్తుంది. నేను 2016 or 17 సార్ స్వచ్ఛ భారత్ మిషన్ స్టార్ట్ చేసినారు గాంధీ బర్త్డే రోజు. అన్నీ చదివిన 99.9% ఉన్నాయి, అన్నీ చదివిన ఎన్వైర్న్మెంట్లో. ఎందుకంటే డూ ఆర్ డై సిచ్యువేషన్, ఐ హ్యావ్ టు నాట్ లూజ్ ద గేమ్. ఒక్క ఎయిర్ క్వాలిటీ ఇండెక్స్ మర్చిపోయినా. ఎవడు అడుగుతలే ఇన్ని చదివినాక అదొకటి ఏమొస్తుంది. పేపర్ ఓపెన్ చేసి చూస్తే డైరెక్ట్ సీల్ ఓపెన్ చేసి పేపర్ ఓపెన్ చేస్తాం కదా సార్. 16th క్వశ్చన్ వెళ్ళింది. కన్సిడర్ ద ఫాలోయింగ్ స్టేట్మెంట్ రిగార్డింగ్ విత్ ఎయిర్ క్వాలిటీ ఇండెక్స్ అండ్ కాంపోనెంట్స్ ఇన్వాల్వ్డ్ ఇన్ ఇట్. దాంట్లో 8 ఇండికేటర్స్ ఉంటాయి కదా సార్, కార్బన్ మోనాక్సైడ్స్, మన మీథేన్ అండ్ డిఫరెంట్ గ్యాసెస్ విచ్ వుడ్ బి ఇన్వాల్వ్డ్. నా క్లోరోఫ్లోరో కార్బన్స్ ఇవన్నీ నాకు అది చూసి మామూలుగా ఏడుపు రాలే. ఇదన్నీ చదివినాం. ఇది ఒక్కటి వదిలేస్తే అదే వచ్చింది, ఇదేం మహాప్రభు అనుకొని నేను ఇంకా నాకు ఈగో సాటిస్ఫై కాక దాంట్లో ఇంకేదో ఒక ఆప్షన్ పెట్టాల్సిందే అని పెట్టేసి వచ్చిన. దిస్ హ్యాపెన్స్. అది ఎందుకంటే యూపీఎస్సీ ఎగ్జామినర్ మైండ్ సెట్ ఎట్లుంటుందంటే సార్, క్వశ్చన్స్ ఇచ్చేటప్పుడు ప్రిలిమ్స్లో ఎక్స్క్లూజివ్గా, మెయిన్స్లో అంటే కంటెంపరీ బేస్డ్ ఇస్తారు. ఇది వీడు కన్ఫ్యూజ్ అవుతాడు అంటే పక్కా క్వశ్చన్ ఉంటుంది. మనం ఎన్వైర్న్మెంట్ చదివినప్పుడు ఎన్వైర్న్మెంట్లో మార్షీ ల్యాండ్స్, మన స్వాంప్ డీర్ అని చదువుతాం. స్వాంప్ డీర్ అంటే ఏంటి సార్? స్వాంప్ డీర్ అంటే ఏంది అసలు? బుడదల్లో నడిచేది. డీర్ విచ్ వర్క్ హ్యావ్ ఇట్స్ హ్యాబిటేట్ ఆన్ మార్షీ ల్యాండ్స్. అయితే బారాసింగా అనేది ఉంటుంది, అది హార్డ్ గ్రౌండ్ స్వాంప్ డీర్. దానికి స్పెసిఫికాలిటీ ఉంటుంది. అది ఒక్క బారాసింగ్ అంటే 12 హార్న్స్ ఉంటాయి సార్ ఆ డీర్కి. ఆ బారాసింగా ఒక్కటే స్వాంప్ డీరే, కానీ హార్డ్ గ్రౌండ్ మీద కూడా నడుస్తుంది. అది హార్డ్ గ్రౌండ్ మీదనే ఉంటుంది అండ్ అది గ్రెమినివోరస్, గ్రాస్ ఈటింగ్. యూపీఎస్సీలో క్వశ్చన్ అడుగుతాడు, బారాసింగా విచ్ ఇస్ అ 12 హార్న్డ్ యాంటెలోప్ విచ్ ఇస్ వన్ ఆఫ్ ద స్వాంప్ డీర్, సబ్ స్పీసీస్ ఆఫ్ స్వాంప్ డీర్ which is a hard ground species which is also graminivorous, can be seen in which of the following locations? Kanha National Park, Manas National Park, Pittabura National Park, ఇంకోటి ఏదో ఉంది. మానస్ నేషనల్ పార్క్ మనం 100 సార్లు చదువుతాం. కన్హా నేషనల్, కన్హా లేదేం లేదు పక్క చేసే, కన్హా ఎక్కడిది? కన్హా నేషనల్ పార్క్ చదివిరా? నిజంగా నిజాయితీకి చెప్పండి ఎవరన్నా, ఎన్వైర్న్మెంట్ చదివిన వాళ్ళు. కన్హా నేషనల్ పార్క్ అని చదివిరా ఎప్పుడన్నా? మానస్ చదివిరా? ఎంతమంది మానస్ గురించి విన్నర్ చదివిరు చెప్పండి? మ్యాక్సిమం పీపుల్. మానస్ ఈజ్ ఆల్సో సూటబుల్, ఎందుకంటే తెరాయ్ ల్యాండ్ సార్, తెరాయ్ ల్యాండ్ కాబట్టి మార్షీ స్ట్రక్చర్ ఉంటుంది. హైలైట్ ఏంటంటే మానస్ నేషనల్ పార్క్లో కూడా స్వాంప్ డీర్ ఉంటుంది. కావాలంటే వెళ్ళి చూసుకోండి. మానస్ నేషనల్ పార్క్లో కూడా స్వాంప్ డీర్ ఉంటుంది. ఆప్షన్స్లో మానస్ నేషనల్ పార్క్ చూసి 199 మంది మానస్ నేషనల్ పార్క్ పెట్టేసి వచ్చారు. ఆన్సర్ ఈస్ కన్హా. ఎందుకంటే కన్హా నేషనల్ పార్క్లో బారాసింగా యొక్క బ్రీడింగ్ గ్రౌండ్ ఉంది. కన్హా నేషనల్ పార్క్ ఈజ్ ఇన్ మధ్యప్రదేశ్ అండ్ బారాసింగా ఇస్ స్టేట్ యానిమల్ ఆఫ్ మధ్యప్రదేశ్. ఇట్లాంటి క్వశ్చన్స్ అడుగుతారు సార్. మనం ఏవైతే వదిలేదా ఇది రాదనుకుంటామో అదే వస్తుంది. పాలిటీ చదివేటప్పుడు సార్ నేను ఎప్పుడన్నా పాలిటీ ఐఎమ్ వెరీ గుడ్, మీరు ఏ కొనక్ ఆర్టికల్ అడిగినా చెప్తా, కానీ ఆ గవర్నర్ జనరల్ ఇదంతా ఇరిటేషన్ ఉంటుంది నాకు. ఇప్పుడు కేరళలో కూడా అదే అవుతుంది. రోజు పేపర్ చూస్తుంటే ఆ సీఎం గవర్నరు కంప్లైంట్ సుప్రీంకోర్టు. నేను అనుకున్న ఎందుకని వచ్చిందిరా నాయన ఈ క్వశ్చన్ మళ్ళీ రాకుండా ఉంటే అయిపోయేదని. ఢిల్లీలో కూడా అప్పుడు అరవింద్ కేజ్రీవాల్ గెలిచినప్పుడు లెఫ్టినెంట్ గవర్నర్ ఏమో బీజేపీ బయాస్డ్, అరవింద్ కేజ్రీవాల్ ఏమో బీజేపీ అగెయిన్స్ట్. సెగ్రిగేషన్ ఆఫ్ పవర్స్ దగ్గర ఇష్యూ. నేను అనుకుంటానే ఉన్నా నేను ఏదైతే వదులుతానో అదే క్వశ్చన్ వస్తుందని. అప్పుడు టసల్ జరిగింది. లెఫ్టినెంట్ గవర్నర్ ఉంటారు సార్ దానికి ఢిల్లీకి. డిస్కస్ ద పవర్ సెగ్రిగేషన్ ఆఫ్ డిఫరెన్సెస్ బిట్వీన్ లెఫ్టినెంట్ గవర్నర్ అండ్ ద చీఫ్ మినిస్టర్ ఆఫ్ ఢిల్లీ. నేను ఏదైతే వదిలేసినో అదే క్వశ్చన్ వస్తుంది. జనరల్గా మనం నాన్ కాన్స్టిట్యూషన్ బాడీస్ వదిలేస్తాం సార్. పాలిటీ ఎవరు చదువుతారు? ఫండమెంటల్ రైట్ అని చదువుకుంటాం. ఫస్ట్ 4 చాప్టర్లు అద్భుతంగా చదువుతాం పాలిటీలో. హిస్టారికల్ బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ ఒక్క క్వశ్చన్ వచ్చింది లేదు ఈరోజు దాకా, కానీ అందరు చదివేది అదే 10 సార్లు. ఆస్పిరెంట్స్ ఏం చేస్తారంటే సార్ టెక్స్ట్ బుక్ తీస్తారు, హిస్టారికల్ బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్, ప్రియంబుల్, సిటిజన్షిప్, మన ఫండమెంటల్ రైట్స్, డిపిఎస్పి చదివేసినాక వదిలేస్తారు. పాలిటీ బోర్ కొడుతుంది వేరే చదువుదామని. హిస్టరీ చదువుతారు. హిస్టరీ అడ్వెంట్ ఆఫ్ యూరోపియన్స్, బ్యాటిల్ ఆఫ్ పక్సర్, ప్లాసీ 2 ట్రీటీలు అయిపోతాయి అలహాబాద్వి. డ్యూయల్ గవర్నమెంట్ ఎండ్ అవుతుంది. రెగ్యులేటింగ్ యాక్ట్ 77 ఇది బోర్ కొట్టింది పక్కన. మళ్ళీ పాలిటీ తీస్తారు. పాలిటీ ఎండ్ నుంచి చదవాలి సార్, ఇప్పుడు ప్రెసిడెంట్ చదవాలి. హిస్టారికల్ బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ మీరు చూడండి. అందుకే హిస్టారికల్ బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ నుంచి ఏ క్వశ్చన్ వచ్చినా ఆస్పిరెంట్ సాల్వ్ చేస్తారు మాక్ టెస్ట్లల్లో. అందరికి తెలుసు హిస్టారికల్ బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్లో రెగ్యులేటింగ్ యాక్ట్ 1773, పిట్స్ యాక్ట్ 1784, చార్టర్ యాక్ట్ 1793, చార్టర్ యాక్ట్ 1813, చార్టర్ యాక్ట్ 1833 వేర్ గవర్నర్ జనరల్ ఆఫ్ బెంగాల్ గోట్ చేంజ్ ఇంటూ గవర్నర్ జనరల్ ఆఫ్ ఇండియా, చార్టర్ యాక్ట్ 1853, డాక్ట్రిన్ ఆఫ్ ల్యాబ్స్ అప్పుడే వచ్చింది, గవర్నమెంట్ ఆఫ్ ఇండియా యాక్ట్ 1858, కౌన్సిల్ యాక్ట్ 1861, 1901, 1909 మింటో మార్లే రిఫార్మ్, 1919 మాంటెగ్యూ కేమ్ఫోర్డ్ రిఫార్మ్, గవర్నమెంట్ ఆఫ్ ఇండియా యాక్ట్ 1935, ఇండిపెండెన్స్ యాక్ట్ 1947. అందరికి వచ్చేవి. ఒక్క క్వశ్చన్ రాదు అందులోకి. ప్రియంబుల్స్ అవుతారు, టప మంత్స్ అవుతారు. దాన్ని వాట్ డూ యూ మెంట్ బై ఇట్ ఫస్ట్ అది చెప్పరాదు. అందుకే మీరు బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ చదవండి, బేసిక్ చదవండి, దాని అప్లికేషన్ చదవండి, ఇంప్లికేషన్ చదవండి. దెన్ యూ కెన్ క్వాలిఫై. క్వశ్చన్స్ ఇన్ యూపీఎస్సీ ఆర్ నాట్ డైరెక్ట్, దే ఆర్ అప్లైడ్ అండ్ ఇంప్లికేటెడ్ బేసిస్, అనలిటికల్ బేసిస్ అండ్ కంటెంపరీతోని రిలేట్ అయ్యి ఉండండి ఎప్పుడు కూడా. డోంట్ మిస్ న్యూస్ పేపర్, డోంట్ మిస్ కరెంట్ ఇష్యూస్. క్లియర్? So in this particular sense, so people who are from other states, I will use 3 languages. Language number 1, English primarily. Language number 2, Hindi, as people are from other states. Language number 3 is regional language, Telugu. And if you want, I can speak in Tamil, Malayalam and Kannada also, but the session goes longer. These 3 languages just because, point number 1, English is a common language, Hindi is a national language as we think. Regional language, some of the students are from regional Telugu medium background to understand for it. Content wise, I will only use English. Explanation wise, I will use these 3 languages. The only reason is to have a pan-Indian student outlook. That's it. To make students who are from different backgrounds to have an understanding of them. I'm using multiple languages. Otherwise, I'm very good at English, at least 80%. I can use English constantly. But the only problem is using constant English would be bored. You will be in a sleepy mode. Using Hindi will give you some sense of understanding the content in different language. Using Telugu will help some regional aspirants also to give them a boost. Because we should not devoid them, right? People who are from regional background also, they just because of English, they should not lack. That's the reason why I'm also trying to explain them in the Telugu medium. No issues, I'll use every language, whatever you want. Aadha ghanta hone mein 1 ghanta hota hai. Nothing is an issue, I'll use all the languages. Only thing is how it is communicated to you. Language is not a knowledge, it's just a communication mode. Content, how it is reached, that is the only task which you have to do. So approximately, according to my sense, these questions which have been mentioned here, least probability of chances questions are going to come in UPSC because these are very basic questions. But not to devoid these or avoid these questions, the test number 1 has been focused on solar system, latitude, longitude and basics of Earth's interior. Clear? Everyone? Done. Let's meet in the next lecture with the 7th standard NCERT. Make sure that you finish that 7th standard NCERT with the basics. Try to attempt it. We will try to discuss the questions which appeared in it. Clear? Any doubts from your side? Clear? Done. Thank you.